Hey gang, it's JC, and this is your daily dose for Tuesday, September 21st, 2010, a cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. I'm laughing because I know some of the stuff I have for you today. You can get us on your mobile phone right now, audio on iTunes, archives top of the page, archives of eye candy right below what you're looking at right now. Dave Murray's weather forecast down in the corner, and here we go as we roll on with our 15-month paid vacation. Today, by the way, is Celebrity Tuesday. And in just a few moments here, we're going to talk about Sam Kinison. All right, the judge in the Lindsay Lohan case has issued a warrant for her arrest. She's due to appear in court, supposed to at least, on Friday. What Lindsay Lohan heard the judge say was, I order you to party for the next 72 hours straight, stay up all night on Thursday night, and then come see me on Friday and act remorseful. According to the National Bureau of Economic Research, the recession ended in June of last year. So for all of you still living in cardboard boxes, you can go home now. 72% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That's up 1% from last year. All right, I don't watch those Dancing with the Stars or So You Think You Can Dance or Start Dancing or I'll Shoot You in the Head. It just doesn't appeal to me. And all the phoniness. You know, I like Jennifer Grey. I loved her in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I loved her in Dirty Dancing. And boy, I guess when you don't act for 20 years, you forget how to do it. And that little thing where she was pretending she was all upset and crying was like bad Hispanic soap opera acting last night. I was playing baseball last night, but I recorded it just to sort of watch because I wanted to see Bristol Palin stomping around. She and her partner did the song, they danced to the song, Mama Told Me Not to Come. See, now that's too bad for Bristol that Levi Johnston didn't follow that advice. And Kurt Warner also danced last night. He fumbled his partner, injured his thumb. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. Gwyneth Paltrow is going to do a couple of episodes of Glee. You'll see those in November. I've only watched one episode of that show. It was knocked out, I guess it was last week, by the Journey show that they did from last season. I may check this show out. I like that stuff. All right. By the way, did you notice that when KMOX is doing the news and then it gets to the sportscast, you know, the little sports thing that they do at the tail end of the news, they always tell you where the baseball game can be seen on TV, whether it's Fox 2 or FSN or whatever. Watch this practice mysteriously disappear next season when they have the games on radio. All right, normally I do celebrity birthdays at the end of the segment, but we're doing it here today because Bill Murray turned 60 years old today, but it's also the 40th anniversary of his arrest for drug trafficking. I'm not kidding about this. September 21st, 1970, Bill Murray was actually going to a little school in Colorado called Regis College, and so he's at O'Hare International Airport flying from Chicago to Denver, and makes a little joke to one of the other passengers as they're sitting there waiting to board the plane that he has a bomb in his luggage. Actually, he said he had bombs in his luggage. Well, one of the other passengers like, I don't know what to think of this guy. This was before Bill Murray was Bill Murray, obviously, because Saturday Night Live didn't even come on the air until 75, and he didn't join the show until 76. So he's a dopey college kid flying back to college and makes this joke. One of the other passengers narcs on him. And, you know, it's one thing to make jokes about having a bomb in your luggage, just in general. It's another thing to do it when you know you have 5 2-pound bricks of marijuana in your suitcases. Man, the more I think about that, Bill Murray was a dumb kid, wasn't he? Anyhow, and by the way, the street value of that at the time would have been $20,000. He got 5 years probation. Jokes about it now, but probably wasn't very funny at the time. Triple C and I were coming back from a trip not too long ago from Napa, about 3 weeks ago, as a matter of fact. And it's a long flight. She pulls out the tray at one point and folds her arms and puts her head down and tries to go to sleep. I was like, I can't believe you can do that. Now, I remember when I was in grade school, the nuns were always like, put your heads down. Everybody put your heads down. You know, my father and mother are paying for private school education, and the nuns would just get testy and decided they needed a little downtime, and we all had to fold our arms and put our heads on our desk and not talk. So anyhow, two guys in Utah have come up with the solution to, well, you know, having a comfortable place to put your head. They have come up with the inflatable tie. For $19.95, you can get the pillow tie. You can look that up on the internet if you're so inclined. Only 1 in 4 U.S. couples sleeps in the same bed. What is going on there? You want to explain that to me, Lucy? All right, we got a couple of stories here for you. If you can hear my phone ringing in my back pocket, I'm ignoring it. People should know I'm working right now. If you're a woman who wants to get married at an early age, move to a city where there aren't very many women. Okay, now that sounds like a pretty simple concept, but it is true, you know. If you're a woman, you want to get married, go find yourself a sausage fest. Daniel Kruger of the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor found that women tend to get married younger in cities where there are more men than women. Duh! Las Vegas is actually the best major city for women to get married quickly. There are 116 men for every 100 women in Vegas, and the average marriage age for women is 24 and a half. San Diego second, followed by Salt Lake City, Austin, Texas, and then Phoenix. The worst places to try to get married, especially young: Birmingham, Alabama, Virginia Kerr, Memphis, Tennessee. Both of those places have a ratio of 88 men to every 100 women. New Orleans is third, Richmond fourth, the fifth worst city for women to get married early. It's a three-way tie between New York, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. Speaking of women, here's the rundown of what the chicks are making in show business. This is the top earning women of primetime TV, although they have number one is Ellen DeGeneres, with her shows on in the daytime, so I guess they're counting American Idol. Tyra, by the way, $55 million for Ellen. Tyra Banks, I was going to make a dildo joke, but Tyra Banks second with $25 million. Katherine Heigl, Eva Longoria Parker, Marg Helgenberger at $10 million for CSI. She's fifth. Mariska Hargitay is in sixth place. I'm not reading any more of those. All right, today is Tuesday, and around here at jc'sdailydose.com, we call it Celebrity Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about Sam Kinison. Now, I emceed probably, 25, maybe 30 of those big headliner comedy shows, most of them at the Westport Playhouse, but I also did them at the Fox Theater and other venues too. Riverport, remember we did Howie Mandel at Riverport and some other people too, but most of those shows were at the Westport Playhouse, and it was a very intimate seating arrangement. That place held, I want to say it was about 1,000 people. It was in the round, but when they put seats and chairs, you know, sort of around the perimeter of the whole thing, I think that you get like 1,200, maybe even 1,300 people into the Westport Playhouse until the fire marshal. Of course, it's not there anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But Sam Kinison came in, I believe it was 3 shows at the Westport Playhouse, and that gave me an opportunity to hang out backstage with the people who were in those shows, and of course Sam Kinison is one of them. As a matter of fact, if you go to the archives at the top of the page and then go to the picture gallery, you'll see a picture of me with Sam from 1986. Now, Sam would like to walk around backstage and hold court. You know, Sam was a quick flash. You know, he went from complete obscurity to one of the biggest names in comedy for only a few short years before he burned out, and we know the story of him dying, and I'll talk about that in a minute, because I'm sort of cheating on this, because you know the rules on Celebrity Tuesday. It's got to be somebody who I actually spent some time with and got to know a little bit. But we're going to cheat a little bit today, because part of what I'm going to talk to you about is Sam Kinison's brother. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyhow, yes, Sam would like to walk around backstage and hold court. He had a lot of riffraff, quite a bit of an entourage. He was very familiar with St. Louis because he grew up in Peoria, Illinois, and this was the bright lights in the big city. And he and his pals would get in the car when they wanted to come down for a concert or some big-time entertainment or something like that. They would drive in from Peoria, and Sam was fascinated with KC radio because it was the music and it was the culture, and I think the drug culture too got in there, and also the concerts and stuff like that. And this was all pre-internet. They're remodeling a porch back here, so it's getting a little loud. They're turning up the radio louder to be heard over the table saw. Anyhow, so this was pre-internet, and I remember that from college too. I mean, if you know, right now I can go upstairs to my laptop and I can see a live picture of the pyramids if I want. But back then, if you wanted to experience something, you had to go there. You had to get in your car and drive there or fly there. And so people would do that all the time, and Sam liked the St. Louis experience, and we talked about it a lot. Now, when Sam was getting ready to go on stage, a lot of times he would just sort of sit back there, and backstage at the Westport Playhouse, there was a nice piano, and he would sit there and just play with the piano a little bit. And he would do a lot of complaining about NBC, which, interesting, was giving him his biggest shot at superstardom. But Sam was irritated by not really so much the censors as it was Lorne Michaels, the executive producer of Saturday Night Live. There's always things that Lorne was telling him he couldn't do, and he was. I still remember Sam used to go around saying, "Yeah, there's like an unwritten rule at NBC: thou must not be cooler than Lorne." So it was sort of a love-hate relationship because he knew that Saturday Night Live and NBC was making him famous, but he was frustrated that they wouldn't let him do more of his cutting-edge stuff. Sam, as time went on, each time he came in, he became less and less sort of willing to do interviews and take pictures and stuff like that. But he was getting bigger and bigger, and that was the deal there. And he would always have that beret on. Never would he be seen without that beret. And after Sam's death, and you know the story about the head-on collision outside of Laughlin, Colorado, where two cars coming the other way were sort of speeding. They had a bet going. It was like whoever got to the destination faster didn't have to buy the beer and stuff like that. And Sam's car was hit head-on on a two-lane highway outside of sort of the outskirts of Vegas, really, near Laughlin, Nevada. I think I may have said Colorado earlier. But Sam had a brother named Bill Kinnison. And Bill was a little out there. And he came in and he used to like to talk about his brother. He said that after the crash, because he was in the car right behind him, and after the crash was hit head-on, they all went running out there to sort of see if anybody was injured. And he said that Sam had no visible injuries of any kind. Of course, what he didn't know at the time was internal organs were just absolutely ravaged from the head-on collision. And Sam was dying right in front of him, but they didn't know that at the time. And Sam was getting into a conversation with an imaginary person, going, no, I don't want to. This is Bill Kinnison telling me this story, and Bill's like standing right there next to his brother who's dying. And then finally he said that Sam sort of went, all right. And just moments later he died from his internal organs, being just, smashed into the inside of his body after the head-on collision. So Sam Kinnison, one of those guys who, it was over and done with really, really quickly. But boy, oh boy, you go back and you look at some of that stuff, that even the stuff he did on The Tonight Show. He had Johnny Carson on the floor. So a lot of these guys burn out pretty quickly. And it's sort of interesting. I'm sort of thinking about this, and I haven't thought about it in a long time. David Letterman tonight is going to have Snooki from the Jersey Shore. I just think it's going to be, the interview is going to be over, and it's just going to be Snooki's shoes just smoldering. That's all that's going to be left of her. Tina Fey will be on Jimmy Fallon. 35 years ago today, 1975, Dog Day Afternoon, Al Pacino. Triple C, huge Pacino fan. And I showed her that movie for the first time last year, and she loved it. 40 years ago today, the debut of ABC Monday Night Football. Cleveland beat the Jets 31-21. Cosell, Dandy Don, and Keith Jackson. Frank Gifford didn't come around until the next year because the people at ABC, after the first year of Monday Night Football, said that Keith Jackson did not appeal to women. Now, how'd you like to be Keith Jackson, like 40 years old, and you got to live the rest of your life walking around knowing that you didn't appeal to women? Great. JC's Eye Candy today. I guess it was a year or two ago, the band OK Go did a music video involving treadmills. This time it's very well-trained dogs, and it is an amazing video. You got to see it on JC's Eye Candy right below what you're looking at. JC's Video Village, the 2001 Lifetime Achievement Award for JC, and the tribute reel they did. The Wayback Machine, going back to 1991, and a live hockey report from Mike Bush and Trey Wingo from the Old Barn. The old school photo this week, Tracy Lords from 1990. Tomorrow, 4 things men don't tell women, but wish they could. We'll see you then. In the meantime, that's it. JC's Daily Dose for Tuesday, September 21st, 2010. A cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.